Windsor father furious.
He calls, he's like, Dad, I took something. I don't feel good. Get to the school.
Concerns after cannabis candies were consumed at a local grade school. Warning.
There is a stubborn core of people that haven't received the message yet.
Stiffer fines and longer suspensions for impaired driving are now in effect. And a public plea for help.
In need of a kidney, blood type A positive.
A Tecumseh man's call for a living organ donor.
CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on CTV Windsor and AM 800. A 12-year-old got a serious talking to from police, and 3 others are in trouble as well after a bag of THC edibles was cracked open inside a Windsor elementary school yesterday. CTV's Travis Fortnum has been following this story for us, first beginning yesterday. More information today. It was a very concerning sight to see all of those ambulances right in front of the school.
Yeah, and that spread fast on social media, but all who were involved are said to be doing okay today. 4 kids in the upper grades at Hugh Beaton Elementary School are said to have ingested THC gummies. 3 of them assessed by EMS at the school and 1 taken to hospital as a precaution. The father of that child spoke with CTV News, and he is not happy.
I'm like, officer, my kid's ODing right here, bro. Like, I want to know what he took.
Scary moments at Hugh Beaton Elementary School on Tuesday with emergency crews responding to assess a group of kids in distress. Jeff Fuchs says he got a text from his son, an 8th grader, around 11 o'clock in the morning.
He's like, Dad, I made a mistake. You have to come get me. I'm like, what are you talking about? Call me right now. He calls, he's like, Dad, I took something. I don't feel good. Get to the school.
What the Fuchs boy took, it turns out, at least 1 gummy said to have 100 milligrams of THC, 10 times the limit of edibles sold through legal dispensaries. He says the kid who brought them in told police he bought them from someone over social media.
Now I'm going crazy. So now they call the police, the ambulances, we're waiting. My kid's now throwing up.
In a statement, Windsor police confirming they responded with 3 of the kids assessed by EMS and 1, Fuchs' son, taken to hospital. A spokesperson saying a 12-year-old youth was formally cautioned for providing cannabis to a person who appeared to be under 25 years of age and was subsequently released to the care of their parents.
These are potent drugs that can have significant effects on different people.
A 100 milligram edible is a lot, especially for a kid who experts say shouldn't have any THC at all. According to the Ontario Poison Centre, it can be more dangerous for kids than adults because edibles are absorbed unpredictably and smaller bodies receive a much higher dose of THC relative to body weight. Children's brains are also still developing, which can amplify the effects.
Make sure that they are stored properly at home, that are not accessible to children and pets.
Fuchs says in the moments he didn't know what his son had taken, he was frustrated school board policy prevented a prompt search of the kids. And now that they do know what was taken, he's worried things could have been much worse.
There's kindergartens here. Obviously these kids are irresponsible. Okay, now if they would have dropped one of those, it was a big pack, the officer showed me. If they would have dropped one of those in the hallway, the kindergarten would have ate one of those.
The day after, Fuchs says his son is doing much better, but he was asked to stay home from school while officials investigate what exactly happened. And he did miss basketball practice on Tuesday night.
Fuchs hopes other parents take this as a sign to check in on who your kids are hanging around with and what they're doing on social media. He says the 12-year-old boy who bought these high-dose gummies did so through Snapchat.
Yeah, as you mentioned, that's why it's so essential to have that open communication between the children and the caregivers and to have those conversations about social media and the dangers.
Yeah, we hear it all the time, and here's an example right here in Windsor of a father saying that could have helped.
Yeah, okay, Travis Fortnum with our top story tonight. Thank you for this, Travis. Thanks. In other news, Windsor police have charged a man with sexual assault, and investigators believe there may be more victims out there. 32-year-old Sharmark Ismail is facing the charge, including sexual assault with a weapon and forcible confinement. Early morning on December 31st, police say a woman and a man had consensual sexual activity at a park on Seminole Street. However, when the woman tried to end the interaction, she alleges the man became aggressive, pulling out a gun and threatening to kill her. The woman escaped and called police. Authorities believe there may be more victims and ask anyone who has been victimized to call major crimes. Police described the accused in this investigation as a black man who stands 5'11". He has short, buzzed cut brown hair and brown eyes. He was driving a white Toyota Highlander and a license plate of DFNL 754. Any other victims, again, are asked to come forward and speak with police. Meantime, police say a K-9 officer helped stop a break and enter in Windsor's West End. Just before 2 Tuesday morning, officers responded to a former elementary school on Wyandotte Street West, where a suspect allegedly used a chainsaw to get inside. K-9 officer Rolex located the man who was arrested without incident. Drugs were also seized, and a 26-year-old now faces multiple charges. Drivers caught impaired in Ontario are facing tougher consequences this year. CTV's Chris Campbell joins us with what's changed and why police say the message still just isn't getting through. Chris.
Yes, Stephanie, the new laws are designed to crack down on impaired driving, from longer license suspensions to tougher consequences for repeat offenders. And the timing is notable. For the third year in a row, Essex County OPP stopped more impaired drivers during the holiday season than any other West Region OPP patrolled area. Essex County once again recorded the highest number of impaired driving charges in the OPP's West Region during the annual Festive Ride campaign.
I think that figure needs to come with some context. I mean, certainly, yes, Essex did have the highest number of impaired driving charges, but it is also the most populous detachment area in West Region.
Between November 20th and January 1st, Essex County officers laid 54 impaired driving charges, the most in the region, marking the third consecutive year the county has topped West Region numbers.
There is a problem with impaired driving in Essex County, but it's not unique to that county alone. It's certainly a problem that every detachment area in West Region and certainly beyond.
Across the West Region, OPP did more than 3,000 Festive Ride spot checks, the highest number in 5 years, resulting in 269 impaired driving charges and 40 suspensions.
We're seeing people who are making bad decisions. That is the common denominator. With impaired driving and the tragedies that result very often, in every instance, it's preventable. It's preventable behavior.
While police are responsible for enforcement, the Ministry of Transportation introduced new impaired driving laws effective January 1st. Some key changes to the laws around drinking and driving include longer roadside suspensions for novice or young drivers. Immediate roadside license suspensions for first and second offenses have doubled. The first has increased from 3 days to 7 days, and a second offense goes from 7 days to 14 days. No changes to the third offense, a 30-day suspension. Education and treatment is now mandatory. First-time offenders now required to complete a mandatory remedial education program. Repeat offenders must complete a treatment program before they can be eligible to drive again. Under the old law, treatment programs were at the discretion of the court. There's also now an extended look-back period. Police can now check a driver's record for previous alcohol or drug-related offenses over the last 10 years, doubling the old law. And when it comes to a conviction for impaired driving causing death, a driver will automatically get a lifetime license suspension. Previously, it was up to the court's discretion.
You know, there is a stubborn core of people that haven't received the message yet, and we're hoping that people are watching the Festive Ride results and thinking about their own behavior.
Advocacy groups like Mad Canada say tougher penalties paired with enforcement are key to preventing impaired driving tragedies. They, along with police, continue to urge drivers to plan ahead and call 911 if they suspect an impaired driver is on the road. Stephanie?
Okay, Chris, thank you for this. Now, this takes us to our question of the day. Do you think the penalties for impaired driving go far enough? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday, we asked if you have tried Dry January, which is not drinking alcohol for the entire month. Out of almost 600 responses, 64% say no. Updates from the court tonight. First, starting in Welland, Ontario, where a Toronto man is on trial for allegedly killing an Essex woman and her friend. 20-year-old Juliana Panunzio of Essex and her friend 18-year-old Christine Crooks of Toronto were shot to death on January 19th of 2021. The double shooting happened at this short-term rental in the Niagara region. 27-year-old Christopher Lucas of Toronto has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts counts of second-degree murder. Today, the defense calling evidence, beginning with a man who has already testified previously. Lucas's lawyer believes Trevor Barnett was the shooter that night. The Crown still maintains it was Lucas. The defense will continue their evidence on Thursday. And at Windsor Superior Court, 2 trials were adjourned early today. First, evidence is concluded, and the defense did not call any evidence for 35-year-old Jesse Malage. He is charged with 1 count of sexual assault. The jury in that trial will hear closing arguments on Friday morning. Meantime, the trial of 22-year-old Cameron Droulard adjourned early as well. It will resume Thursday at 11 a.m. He is charged with 4 offenses, including failing to provide the necessities of life and impaired driving stemming from a serious crash in Lakeshore in 2022. Let's take a break and talk about these mild conditions. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins us now for a first look at the weather tonight. Gary.
Good evening, Stephanie. Good evening, folks. Gray, wet, humidity values quite high, but temperatures, the ambient temperatures at the surface soaring today. And with that, we noticed, obviously, that no records were broken, but we still could see some records fall as we head towards Friday, Saturday. That means the southerly surge of warm air continues, and we could see double digits on the weekend for Saturday. Rain not likely for tonight, but maybe tomorrow morning, and we could see some sunshine in the afternoon as well. Then it gets colder. I'll break down this continual roller coaster ride of temperatures and conditions just ahead. For now, I'll send it back to you at the desk.
The Greater Essex County District School Board has listed 3 surplus properties for sale. They include Windsor Stadium, the former Kingsville District High School, and the former Kingsville Public School. The listings can be found on our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Public viewings are scheduled later this month. Offers are being accepted until February 6th. The board says the sale is part of its ongoing process to manage surplus properties. A Windsor City Councillor is calling for more transparency in the 2026 budget process after learning a multi-million-dollar cut to housing services is still being kept behind closed doors. This comes as the city releases details on dozens of other budget items that were originally set for in-camera debate. CTV's Sanjay Maru join me now with the latest on this. Break it down for us.
Yes, Stephanie. Today, the city peeling back the curtain on nearly 30 budget items that had been slated for in-camera talks. For the first time, residents are getting details on what these items entail, all in an effort to get the budget to a 0% tax increase. The number of in-camera items in the 2026 proposed budget has been cut down from 54 to 25. The majority of the 29 formerly private items have to do with staffing. At least 17 permanent positions would be cut through attrition, while other departments are restructuring to meet legislated requirements or maintain service levels without raising the property tax levy. In some cases, staffing reductions are tied to modernization efforts or operational efficiencies, while elsewhere, such as Transit Windsor and pollution control, new positions are being added. One city councillor, however, is drawing attention to one item in particular that remains private, a $2.6 million cut to housing services.
We are in a housing crisis as we currently speak. I wasn't expecting that we would see as substantial a cut as is being proposed to that department, given where we are.
Ward 9 Councillor Kieran McKenzie says he has filed a notice of motion to get details of this item out in the open. An item in a multi-billion-dollar budget that, according to McKenzie, came with fewer opportunities for council to weigh in.
Previous years, there was a role for council to play. We had the council committees at the last budget process. There was another larger meeting of the whole of council where we had all of the departments come and delegate to us essentially as a council. We had none of that included in the process this time, so I think that's been problematic.
In a statement, Mayor Drew Dilkin says the 25 remaining in-camera items are staying private because they deal with things like security, labor relations, contract negotiations, and legal matters. So in terms of next steps now, this Monday is a big one. That's when City Council is expected to hear public feedback on the proposed budget. Councillors would have until January 30th to propose amendments, and if a majority supports any changes, Mayor Drew Dilkens can veto them, but that veto can be overridden if at least 8 councillors vote in favor.
Okay, and of course we will have a reporter there.
Definitely.
Okay, Sanjay Morrow, thank you for this.
Thank you.
The wait time for a kidney transplant is anywhere between 2 to 6 years, according to the Ontario Health Trillium Gift of Life Network. While a Tecumseh man patiently waits for a match, he's taking matters into his own hands.
In need of a kidney? Blood type A positive?
Dwight Hesman is trying something different after being diagnosed with kidney failure 3 years ago.
Very scary, very frustrating.
He is advertising his plight and reaching out to the public for help.
It's a slow process.
6 months ago, he decided to take action, attempting to increase his chances of getting a living kidney donor by publicly listing his phone number on multiple vehicles across Windsor, Essex. He says he's received half a dozen inquiries since.
Just the fact that somebody would entertain the idea of actually, being interested in doing this it's mind-blowing.
Some friends and family are also spreading the word, attaching the same magnets on their vehicles. Hesman tells CTV News he is on a wait list for a deceased donor, which would help extend a recipient's life by approximately 5 years. A living donor would increase his lifespan by about 15 years. He's also calling on the provincial government to pass the Peter Cormos Memorial Act. The bill proposes to make organ and tissue donation a procedure to opt out of rather than the current system where a donor needs to opt in.
Well, there's a definite need.
For more information on organ donation or to speak directly with Hesman, head to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
We want to hear from you. Do you have a comment or question? Text us at 10400. You can also send photos and video. Oil standoff still ahead on Windsor's news leader. U.S. forces chase and board Russian and Venezuelan oil tankers, raising tensions and shaking oil markets. An outrage in Minneapolis. The FBI is investigating a fatal shooting by an ICE agent. A woman is dead after a shooting in Minneapolis, Minnesota, involving a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent. The Department of Homeland Security confirms the unidentified woman was shot in her car after allegedly trying to run over law enforcement officers. DHS claim a federal agent, fearing for his life, opened fire.
It was an act of domestic terrorism. What happened, it was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle.
But the mayor of Minneapolis says the self-defense justification can't be supported.
They are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is.
The mayor is now demanding ICE agents leave the city. The U.S. has seized 2 ships carrying Venezuelan oil, including a Russian-flagged vessel in the North Atlantic. At the same time, the Trump administration is ramping up talks of buying Greenland. CTV's Joy Malbin has more on today's events.
Dramatic pictures posted by the Trump administration show the U.S. Coast Guard boarding a Russian-flagged oil tanker after chasing it in the North Atlantic for 2 weeks and risking a conflict with the Kremlin. Moscow officials angrily called the U.S. seizure outright piracy. Another vessel captured in the Caribbean, U.S. forces seen rappelling onto the deck of an empty vessel called the Sophia. Both ships accused of violating U.S. sanctions after the Trump administration ordered a blockade of Venezuelan oil, capturing its president Nicolas Maduro in a daring raid, accusing him of operating a narco-terrorist regime.
So our military is prepared to continue this. As he said, the president, when he speaks, he means it. He's not messing around.
It comes as President Donald Trump says he's in charge of Venezuela and will control its oil, posting the country will turn over 30 to 50 million barrels of oil to the U.S. The administration claims it has tremendous leverage to force the socialist government to become an ally.
We're going to sell it in the marketplace at market rates, not at the discounts Venezuela was getting. That money will then be handled in such a way that we will control how it is dispersed in a way that benefits the Venezuelan people, not corruption, not the regime.
After a classified briefing, several lawmakers are critical of Trump's attempt to reshape the world order.
This is an insane plan. They are talking about stealing the Venezuelan oil at gunpoint.
I am totally dissatisfied about their answers of going into other countries.
The Trump administration intends to oversee the sale of Venezuela's oil indefinitely, as President Trump plans to meet with major U.S. oil executives Friday about restarting drilling in Venezuela. Joy Malvin, CTV News, Washington.
Canada's Prime Minister heads to China next week to discuss trade and security amid tensions between Washington and Beijing over Venezuelan oil. CTV's Amy Bergeron-Oliver reports on the first Canadian PM visit in nearly 10 years.
After years of tense relations, a change appears to be brewing as Prime Minister Mark Carney gets set to try and address thorny trade issues in Beijing with Chinese President Xi Jinping.
No doubt there are going to be challenges, and the two countries won't see eye to eye on everything, but there are some common and shared interests.
Next week's visit will be the first by a Canadian Prime Minister in nearly a decade, and the first since China arrested and eventually released Canadians Michael Kovrig and Michael Spavor in retaliation for Canada's detention of Huawei's Meng Wanzhou. One of the biggest flashpoints that's expected to come up, tariffs. Canada imposed a 100% tariff on Chinese electric vehicles in 2024, a move met by China, who implemented a punishing 100% tariff on canola oil and a 25% tariff on certain pork, fish, and seafood products.
We hope that there'd be tariffs, removed immediately. But as I say, this, history has said that the removal of those tariffs does take some time.
But while this three-day trip is being viewed as a relationship reset, experts say Canada has to be cautious not to trigger any alarm bells in Washington, with negotiations on the North American trade deal set to begin later this year.
If we are seen to go too far down the path of befriending China, we know who in Washington is going to be irritated by that.
But while tariffs are expected to loom large, the Prime Minister's office says energy, agriculture, and international security are all up for discussion. Amy Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Tim Hortons has signed its first partnership with the Canadian Olympic Committee. The deal will last 8 years, and there is a similar agreement with the Canadian Paralympic Committee. That one is set to last 3 years. The partnership means Canadian athletes, coaches, and their families will have Tim Hortons coffee available when they compete in Italy in February. There will also be Olympic-branded packaging for certain items. Each time Canada wins a gold medal, the company says members of its loyalty program will receive special offers. Canada's main stock index was down due to losses in the industrial and basic materials sectors. The TSX dropped 271 points. In New York, the Dow was off 466. The Nasdaq saw a slight gain. The loonie lost about 1/5 of a cent. Gold was off over $33 an ounce. Oil shed $1.14 a barrel. Improving patient flow coming up. The new approach at Erie Shores Healthcare that is getting patients home much faster.
Let's look at our CTV News weather snapshot. Thank you, Sue Forgo, for this beautiful image from Bright Lights, which ends tonight. Will be mild enough, so get out there if you can. Have a few more hours to take it in. We'll talk nighttime and daytime temperatures above seasonal continuing through to Saturday. Next on CTV News Windsor.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Mild out there. Gary joins me again for an extended look at the weather. Gary.
A lot of snow and ice melt. Good 98% of it has disappeared, obviously, with temperatures rising to about 5 to 7 degrees across parts of extreme southwestern Ontario this afternoon. So we're nearing 7 degrees today in Windsor. Average highs closer to -1. You get the idea. We are in a very warm, mild air mass. That pattern has persisted for the last couple of days, and it will get even warmer, relatively speaking, as we head into tomorrow. In fact, the next couple of days may surprise. Air quality is decent today, a 3 on a scale of 1 to 10. The lower the number, the better the air quality. The winds have picked up, and we anticipate gusts in that 30 to 40 range. Right now, 5 degrees and cloudy, very gray across southern Ontario in its entirety. That's 41 degrees Fahrenheit, both in Windsor, Essex, and Chatham-Kent, and much of the surrounds. It feels a little bit cooler because of the high humidity levels, nearing 92 to 97%. That humidity, in fact, makes it feel, at least in terms of what the temperature and the air is next to your skin, it takes some of that heat away, that insulating barrier or layer, if you will. And we are dealing with wind chill. It feels like about +1 or +2. So damp and cold-ish, the feel, but the ambient temperatures are actually quite mild and above seasonal. We are looking at +2 in Toronto, and even Winnipeg's approaching maybe 0 degrees today. So we're seeing a rebound along the 49th parallel, no doubt. Cloudy still tonight and through this evening into the early morning we go, and we're not likely to see much except a mixture of sun and cloud before Friday, Saturday rolls around, and a large system bringing significant rainfall is the story there. So rain's on the way, but in the meantime, we are looking at cloudy conditions for tonight, 3 degrees through 8 o'clock. By midnight, down to 3. The wind out of the south, that's our southerly warm air, is sustained at around 10 to 20 kilometers per hour. Tomorrow, a high of 8. Could see a light shower in the early morning. Then rain Friday and Saturday, 12 degrees Celsius Friday, followed by 5. And then -1, +1, 2, and 3 as we get much colder come Sunday. And then see some ice pellets, freezing rain, and wet flakes again. The next couple of days, very spring-like. March weather way ahead of schedule.
Erie Shores Healthcare is receiving more than $2.3 million in new annual funding. Support for the program will free up hospital beds and ease pressures on frontline staff. The funding will help offset costs tied to the hospital's admission and discharge unit, which moves patients medically ready to go home into a new renovated discharge lounge. Hospital officials say the change has reduced wait times, shortened hospital stays, and cut hours of paperwork for nurses. President and CEO Kristen Kennedy says the program is improving patient flow and could serve as a model for hospitals across the province.
Right now, we've improved the time a patient is in the hospital by about 7 hours, and we've improved the wait time to see a physician by almost 3 hours. So you're seeing a physician 3 hours earlier, you're staying in the hospital from start to finish about 7 hours less.
Novo Nordisk Canada is considering offering generic versions of its Ozempic and Wegovy drugs, introducing lower-priced versions of this type of medication. Health Canada approved the company's submissions on December 22nd. Experts say the generic drugs are unlikely to be approved for at least a few months. The agency says evaluating the drugs is a complex process because Novo Nordisk's products were developed using biological processes, while the generic versions are made using chemical means. The United States has dropped the number of vaccines it recommends for children affecting half a dozen diseases, and doctors fear the changes will fuel vaccine hesitancy in Canada. Effective immediately, broad vaccination is no longer recommended for rotavirus, hepatitis A and B, some forms of meningitis, RSV, or the flu. The exception, high-risk people. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services says the overhaul is in response to a request from President Donald Trump last month. The move has Canadian doctors and health units concerned about different recommendations in the two countries, causing confusion and driving misinformation.
Canada, we are following the best evidence available, and provincial, federal jurisdictions, they follow that. We have a really good surveillance system. We're following those evidence-based recommendations.
Meet the new Windsor Spitfire when we return. The speed, skill, and grit that could change the game this season. We are on the sidelines with Bob Belichico tonight. And Bob, the Windsor Spitfires have been busy ahead of the trade deadline.
Isn't this an exciting time?
Yeah, it is,
great.
Of course.
The OHL trade deadline is Saturday, and the Spits, folks, they're all in. General Manager Bill Bowler made a big splash earlier this week, and he took care of business today with the addition of an international-level defenseman. Now let's break it down. First off, Bowler sent J.C. Lemieux and 8 draft picks to the Sudbury Wolves for forward Alex Ferrin and Nathan Villeneuve. Here's Ferrin at practice today. The 21-year-old is a 6'3" winger drafted by the Chicago Blackhawks. Now Villeneuve wasn't here today, but he's a 19-year-old center with scoring upside, which is what this team really needed with Ilya Protas not returning this season. A second-round draft pick of the Seattle Kraken, Villeneuve is now the team's leading scorer, 1 point ahead of Carson Woodall. Caught up with Ferrin earlier today at practice.
I think all the guys here, we're all in, and our goal is to win a championship and a Memorial Cup, and I'll play any role. I'll do the best I can, night in, night out, to do that and help our team win, and I'm very excited.
Men, competitive, skilled, they're hungry to win, and yeah, we had those two plus Greentree and Spousie now coming back into our lineup, putting 4 pieces back in, so yeah, we're excited.
It's going to be fun. Now, to keep pace with other contenders, General Manager Bill Bowler took care of the back end today, picking up defenseman Jacob Fibiger from Brampton Steelheads in exchange for Carter Hicks and 3 draft picks. Fibiger is also a Seattle Kraken draft pick who played for Czechia at the recently completed World Junior Championships in Minnesota. The 19-year-old had 24 points in 27 games for Brampton this season. All 3 of these players don't have much playoff experience, but they are older than the players traded away.
Older players that have proven in this league, it costs, and unfortunately, you know, we have to let some players go that have bright futures. They're great players, great kids, but that's the league we're in, and that's the kind of the business or the state of how to improve hockey clubs.
Now, contenders are trying to improve as well. Kitchener made a big splash today, picking up London Knights captain Sam O'Reilly and Jared Woolley for a player. And get this, 10 draft picks. Yes, the price is high because a lot of teams want in on the action.
We're sitting in first place in our conference, knowing full well other teams were going to try to bolster their rosters. We're no different. So the Western Conference is a beast. It always has been, always will be. We're hoping we can have some fun here in the next couple months.
Oh, it will be fun. So let's talk about the Windsor Express. They are not off to a great start this season, but finally they did get a win.
Yeah, not so much fun early on. The first 3 games were pretty bad. not really bad, but to say it straight up, they were kind of out of shape, but they rounded into form today at home during a rare matinee game at the WFCU Center. Yeah, that screechiness is the kids in the stands. It was loud at the arena. Kids from local schools trying to get on the Jumbotron. Hey, how about TV instead, kids? Smile. The Windsor Express taking on Lake Erie, the Jackals. Latin Davis had a game for himself today. 44 points leading Windsor to their first victory of the season. 119-96, the final.
We just wanted to get over that hump. A few games we felt like we let go. Me being a leader, I take the responsibility of that, but we just wanted to get over that hump. Now I feel like we got our groove, just seeing a win on the board. Some of these kids, they look up to us, so we glad we could give them a show, and we just proud that we got this win.
I get to practice my French now. On the high school scene, there was a good game at L'École Secondaire La Salle last night. Les Aigles taking on the undefeated Essex Red Raiders in a barn burner. That's J.R. Kodik with 2 of his game-high 18 points for the Red Raiders. He had some big shots last night when it looked like the home team was going to pull away in this one. Essex ekes out a 60-57 win to remain undefeated at 6-0. Cardinal Carter right behind them at 5-0. Lestour had their 3-game unbeaten streak snapped and fall to 4-2.
Especially at the start, we had like a 10-point lead. And then throughout the whole first half, we beat them. And then at the second half, you know, it didn't fall in that way. Shots weren't going in. And then, you know, their offense was better than our offense. So that's how it kind of played out.
We've been working hard. We had one practice over the break, and we went out there, practiced hard, came out here ready for Lestour, knew it was going to be our hardest competition, and came out here on top, 60-57. So that's what we like.
I hear Western has a new football coach.
Yeah, this was interesting, but not a surprise. Michael Falls actually left Laurier and is now the head coach of the Western Mustangs. Why that matters to us? Well, there was a thought that Windsor Lancers head coach J.P. Cercelli might have been interested in that position. Turns out he wasn't. In fact, Cercelli told me earlier this week that he didn't even apply for the job. Born in London, Cercelli coached the Junior Mustangs and was an offensive line coach at Western before coming to Windsor. But he says he likes it here. This is home.
Everyone says, hey, come home, do this, do that. No, this is the place to be. We've built something really special here. Our families are growing up here, and like I tell everyone coming here, it's a real special place. You've got to see it to believe it. And if you look at kind of our track record over the last, especially the last 4 years, we're building something really special here, and we want to see it through.
And I want to see it through, too. He's a good guy. Next item is a week old, but it still feels good. The Windsor Spitfires honored referee Ryan Hutchison before their New Year's Eve Day game last week. They sent him off into retirement in a touching way. This was so cool. Now, the Spits and Saginaw Spirit wished him well following the game. Fans even stuck around to send him off with a big applause. It was so cool. Hutch refed for over 30 years and relived some of those moments with friends and family at a quaint reception in the arena after the game. I asked him what his favorite memories are. He said Game 7, you remember this one? Game 7 of the Windsor-London series in 2017 when Windsor went on to win the Memorial Cup. That one was among the best.
There was lots of things throughout the series, and it's just something I'll always remember. The other thing, too, is, you know, I say it, but the last year Connor McDavid was in this league, I mean, every building you went to was just, it was electric. It was extra security. Just there was a different buzz in the arena, and that was pretty cool.
And I remember when Connor McDavid played his last game here in Windsor back in the day, and I remember the police escort he got from the locker room to the governor's room for the interview, and it was like high security. But it was just an awesome feeling.
Yeah. Just
to be part of that moment and to see him doing what he's doing today. It's like, wow.
Yeah, definitely.
We saw him live in action here.
Yeah, I know. Definitely electric. And for that referee, congratulations.
Yeah, that's great.
3 decades.
Hey, you know, for all these years, fans yelled at him, told him to get some glasses, maybe trip over the
And then the day he retires, they love him.
The day he retires, you'll love him. But hey, kudos to the Windsor fans because they really sent him off with a nice tribute. I thought that was really nice. And the team as well.
Okay, Bob Belichico with On the Sidelines. We will be back right after this break.
This is your CTV Windsor Hour Community Calendar. Join us for a wonderful soup lunch, January 14th from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. Proceeds benefit St. Clair College Foundation and student scholarships. See you next time on Our Community.
It's time to check in on what's happening now with Melanie Kettner. And Melanie, you've got details for us on an East Windsor sports bar that is temporarily going dry.
That's right. Average Joe's Sports Bar will not be serving alcohol for 45 days. Starting this Saturday, the bar's liquor license is suspended until February 24th. The Alcohol and Gaming Commission cited a fatal motorcycle crash last year, alleging the bar served a patron who had consumed at least 10 drinks before leaving. The bar posted on social media expressing surprise at the timing and the impact on staff and business. In the meantime, it will continue to serve food and host alcohol-free events. We've got more details online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And we also have an online story, Melanie, with the latest crime statistics from Windsor Police.
Yes, police are reporting a significant drop in property crime for 2025. It's down over 11% compared to the previous year. This includes a 27% decrease in break-ins and 13% drop in theft cases. Police attribute the success to data analytics, increased patrols in trouble spots, and the bail compliance unit. And in our social spotlight, check out this funny video a viewer sent to us of their pet ferret. Dan Brooks shared this video of his ferret, Massimo, stealing a cat balloon. He looks like a speedy little guy, too. The video has over 58,000 views on TikTok.
I'm not surprised. Massimo is pretty cute. Melanie, these are the stories we truly like to share with our viewers.
That's right, all of the cute animal ones.
Okay, so how can viewers submit a video just like this one for a trending segment?
Yeah, you can email it to newsnow@bellmedia.ca or text it to 10400.
Okay, thank you, Melanie. Only in Canada, a frozen lake, a backyard rink, and a homemade Zamboni that turns it into a real arena. Yeah, all the ice completely gone. And Gary, a lot of ponds across the Windsor, Essex, freezing, thawing, has to be cautious out there.
Yeah, just stay away. Even if you were to fall into that water, I mean, at +2, +3, I mean, hypothermia would set in just a couple of minutes. It's extremely cold, but not so cold in terms of the air temperature as we soared to 6 degrees, some areas 7 degrees today. We're looking at possibly 8, followed by 12, then +5. That's the next 3 days. Along the way, we're going to see some rain tomorrow, light, and then Friday, Saturday, much heavier, especially Friday. Friday is going to be a rainy day. And then Arctic air moves in for Sunday into Monday, Tuesday. We'll see highs close to the freezing mark, -1, then +1, +2, +3. So mild, huge surge, and then the atmosphere likes to try to balance itself out. That's what it's trying to do. And we'll see the return flow coming out of the north to get us back to more seasonal values.
Okay, great. Thank you, Gary. Michelle, we've been continuously covering the developments that are going on in Venezuela, and you have more for us tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. You're totally right. So we went to the University of Windsor for some expert insight on the situation in Venezuela. We found an expert in energy and oil. So we asked if the situation over there could impact Windsor-Essex drivers here at the pumps. Plus, also tonight, Detroit police revealed their crime stats for last year alongside their new mayor. Was it good? Was it bad? Tonight, we'll have all those details at 11. Stefanie.
Okay, great. Now, keeping a backyard rink in playing shape can really be tough, but one person has found a solution. As CTV's Dave Charbonneau reports, he built his own Zamboni from scratch.
And in 2010, I decided to start doing a skating rink on the lake.
For Chris Flynn, building a rink on Long Lake in Mayo, Quebec, northeast of Gatineau, has been a labor of love for more than a decade. But keeping the ice smooth wasn't always easy. Until now.
The last year, year or two, Stefan has helped me to take it to another level.
That next level came from his neighbor, Stefanie, and a machine he built by hand.
What we like about it, it's the same shape as a real Zamboni.
The project started with old equipment and a lot of problem solving.
I had an old lawnmower machine, and I started from there.
The homemade Zamboni uses hot water, just like the real thing, making a big difference. The result? Smooth, glistening ice.
We're able to use hot water, which cures and repairs the ice better than cold water.
The machine even rolls out between periods, turning a pickup game into something straight out of an arena.
So it's everyone's true dream. In between periods, this miniature Zamboni came and did the rink.
The video of that moment has now gone viral, but for De'e, the payoff is much simpler.
It's a lot of work to maintain the rink on the lake, but every time we got people using it, it's a reward for us.
A homemade Zamboni, a backyard rink, and a neighborhood project that shows just how far Canadians will go for the love of the game. Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
We were just mentioning, hopefully he patents that design there.
It's a great idea. I can think of lots of people who would want something like that for their elaborate backyard and ponds and stuff. Might be a bit of a tough sell in Windsor, you know.
But I would drive that thing all the time. I mean,
it would be fun to drive.
I would like to drive a real Zamboni, but that one, put that in the garage, right?
Yeah. I'm sure if you go to the WFCU or anywhere, they'll let you get on.
Well, that's a good idea. I should think about that.
On behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Gary and I will be back with your only late local newscast tonight at 11.
Good night.
See you then.